So the MW3 beta just finished up and I almost played every single day apart from the last one that I had to miss. And I thought I would give my overall opinion and whether or not I think you should buy it this year. So let's start with some of the goods. Probably the biggest good and the thing that they marketed the most was, of course, the movement. Obviously, with MW2, Infinity Ward, for whatever reason, decided to absolutely nerf movement in like every single way possible. A lot of people did not like that, so this year's Call of Duty MW3 was marketed almost entirely around buffing the movement. So the sliding is actually a lot better. They changed it to where you can, if you wear the right boots, you can actually slide in ADS and shoot at the same time. So if you guys remember, I uploaded a game called Shatterline a long time ago. It feels very similar to that, maybe not as smooth or as fast, but it's pretty similar, and it's actually nice. You'll see in some clips, the sliding is actually pretty addictive in this game, and there's still a little delay right after you slide cancel where your character just can't really do anything. Like, all you can do is really walk. You can't like sprint, you can't slide again, none of that. I think they should get rid of that, but a lot of other people are saying to keep it so that it's not as spammy. I don't know, it's really the only thing that's making the movement feel a little clunky at the moment, other than like jump penalties that are still in the game from MW2, which seem kind of odd. I feel like they're eventually going to get rid of that. There's also no b-hopping like there was in 2019. For me personally, I don't really care about that. I always kind of fucking hated the constant just bouncing up and down like a bunny rabbit, but it does seem like a lot of people want that back, and I guess it wouldn't really be that bad if they did add it back to the game. Also, something that I was really worried about as a mouse and keyboard player was the visual recoil. In some of the trailers they showed, it looked like it wasn't all that much better from MW2, but now playing the beta, it is significantly better, like way better. There's still some issues with iron sights in this game where they wobble around way too much, to the point where sometimes your sights can actually like cover what you're trying to see. Like you can't actually see your reticle. It's very strange. It's almost like if you turn too quickly, your sight will trail behind and not actually show what you're aiming at, which makes it nearly impossible to hit shit on mouse and keyboard. But overall, there actually was a lot of improvements there. Next, another one of the big things that they marketed was the time to kill. MW time to kill was stupid fast. I mean, you just fell over in like 2 bullets every single time. Time to kill is a lot slower in this game, and honestly, I like it. It was a little crazy at times in ground war because a lot of the time the distances that you're shooting people, it was like 5 bullets minimum you had to shoot them with, which the long range can be kind of difficult. But it was nice. It was a nice change of pace to, you know, you needed to hit consecutive shots to actually kill people. So honestly, I really like where the time to kill is in the game. I think it's fine. Along with the time to kill, they reduced the headshot multi, so basically how much damage headshots do, and I really like this. I know a lot of people were saying this just lowered the skill gap, they didn't like it and all that stuff, but when it comes to Call of Duty and the way the gunplay works in the game, majority of the time you get headshot, it's not by somebody who's doing it on purpose. It's some RNG bullshit where they flinched into the headshot, or they're just throwing their aim all over the place and they just happen to land on your head and instantly kill you. Headshots in this game don't work like in Counter-Strike or other games. They're very random. So I feel like making this change, making the headshots do less damage, it's actually a lot better. Gunfights feel more consistent because of it. So I really like that change. They also brought back map voting, which I guess is good, so you don't have to play the shitty maps over and over again. And yeah, just overall, the game is a lot better for aggressive play. It feels more arcadey again, which is honestly what Call of Duty should always be. And then also, I'll go into more detail on this, but overall, Ground War, which is the main mode that I actually play, was pretty damn fun. Unfortunately, the servers were on fire for most of the beta, and they were just, Ground War was kind of unplayable for the most part. The servers felt like you were constantly on 200 ping. You would crash and dev error like every other game. The hit reg felt completely broken. It was pretty rough. But despite all of that, I could tell Ground War is actually going to be pretty fun this year. The snipers need a little bit of adjustment. They're still too good, but they brought back the original, or not flinch, the original glint from 2019. so you can see snipers very easily. The new time to kill makes it really interesting. The maps are okay so far. They're not terrible, but they're not great. Unfortunately, there is no specialist in the game, which is a real bummer because that's one of the things that made 2019 Ground War so much fun. But they did bring back pretty much the only good thing about MW2 Ground War, which was the transport helis. Those things are awesome to spawn on and then just go flying into the map. And then also tanks are not nearly as overpowered as they were in MW2. So just overall, yeah, Ground War is actually pretty fun. I see myself actually playing it for at least a couple months, whereas, you know, MW2, I played that stuff. I think I played MW2 Ground War for like a couple weeks and I was over it. So now let's get into the bads. So this game is very similar to MW2. It's pretty obvious what they did was not make a Call of Duty from the ground up, but rather they took MW2, gave it to Sledgehammer, and told Sledgehammer to, well, just make a massive update for the game, and now they're advertising it as a full new game. The game looks nearly identical graphics wise. The menu and UI is almost exactly the same, which is such a bummer because it's fucking awful. And I don't know, I remember at the beginning of MW2, everybody complained about this shit because the UI and the menus are made by like some person from Hulu, like the television streaming website. So everybody was saying it was terrible, and then Call of Duty was like, okay, yeah, we're gonna fix it, and then that never happened. And now this new Call of Duty comes out and it's still the same. Like half of the menus just make absolutely no sense. They make you go through like 3 different sub menus just to get to one thing. Even just to play the beta on Steam, you had to launch Call of Duty, go through like 3 different menus, click on beta, and then that would restart and close your game, and then it would launch the beta, and you had to do that every time your game crashed. It was the most annoying shit. I really don't understand why they haven't at least tried to change that stuff. Also, the visibility in general is still horrible. Not talking about the visual recoil, but just like being able to see people when you're walking around the map and see who is shooting you is awful. It's just like MW2. I noticed this a lot when I was playing on Estate, the remastered MW2 map. Dude, you cannot see shit on that map. There is just so much crap on your screen, and it's all the same fucking 3 colors: gray, brown, black. Everything just blends in, and it's so hard to pinpoint stuff. Also, a lot of the animations are completely broken in the game, like mantling and drop shotting, and some of the sliding animations, they kind of just don't exist. It's almost like people just teleport around randomly, and this can make it really difficult to hit shots. I noticed this the most with drop shotting. Sometimes somebody drop shots and it's like completely fine, you can track them, and then other times they're standing and then the next frame they're on the ground, and it's instant. Also, when I was playing 6v6, the only maps in the beta were of course remastered MW2 maps. There was no original maps in the beta, and I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna have at least some original maps when the game fully releases, but I know majority of them are going to be remastered maps from like fucking 13 years ago. And not surprising, I called it, they got really boring really fast. Now that's going to be different for people who maybe, you know, are young enough that they didn't play the original MW2, but for me, yeah, I mean, I've played High Rise and Rust and all that shit a million times, and it was so boring. I also saw a lot of people complaining about it. I don't really care at this point, but SBMM was very strong in the game. In 6v6, it was very sweaty. It's basically like you're just playing ranked, but you know, without the ranks. Also, the spawns were horrific. Probably the worst Call of Duty I've seen in terms of spawns, which is kind of confusing since all of these 6v6 maps were remastered maps from like 10 years ago. So did they not, maybe they don't have the data from back then to just copy the spawns from back then? But yeah, they were horrible on pretty much every 6v6 map. Then lastly, with 6v6, probably the thing that I noticed the most, and I also called this because it was a big problem in games like Cold War and Black Ops 4, the snipers are mad overpowered in this beta. A lot of that has to do with the time to kill. It takes like, I think 4 or 5 shots a minimum to kill somebody, and the snipers consistently one shot, and some of them were really stupid. I think the one I was using the most was called the longbow, and it shoots like a semi-auto, but it's a bolt, and it one shots like all the time. It has like 0 recoil, The rechamber speed is, like I said, pretty much as fast as a semi-auto. They were just way too good. The amount of clips that I saw on Twitter of people hitting like 6-7 ons because of the spawns and because of just how broken the snipers were is just ridiculous. So hopefully they get looked into, because they were pretty busted in ground war as well. And then overall for the game, I thought I would leave this to, I guess, the last part, because this was affecting the entire game, every aspect of the game. Man, the netcode, the connection, the servers, whatever, were horrible this entire beta. It was one of the first things that I noticed, because Sledgehammer is usually pretty good with their netcode and having the hit reg feel, you know, crisp and clean, and in this beta it felt horrible. There is something seriously wrong with the hit reg in the game. And then also this shit, oh my gosh, dude, this shit right here, the packet bursting was just constant. The entire beta's constant stuttering and packet bursting was just driving me up the wall. And then on top of that, because of the super strict SBMM, it would actually start putting you in servers that you don't have a good connection to. So just like all of these things combined made the experience a lot worse than it should have been. And I saw people talking about how like you can somehow get around this with a net Duma and a geo filter to like force you to stay on servers that are closest to you, but that shouldn't be something we have to resort to. I think at that point that means the SBMM is getting a little ridiculous when it's putting you on, you know, 100 ping servers when there's plenty of servers close to you. So yeah, overall, my, I guess, honest opinion of the game is, yeah, it is better than MW2. Actually, I might even go as far as to say it was actually kind of fun playing Ground War. But I think the title of this video is going to be, should I buy, or should you buy MW3? And honestly, I don't think so, especially if you're a 6v6 player like you exclusively or almost only play 6v6. No, bro, this game is not worth another $70, because it is not a new game. It is literally MW2 but with a sizable update from Sledgehammer. The fact that they're charging a full $70 for this game like it's a completely new addition to the series is ridiculous. I would say if you really enjoy Ground War like I do, and it's like the only thing that you play, then yeah, it might be worth it, because it's going to have 4 maps on release. They're just going to keep adding maps because they're going to keep cutting it from the new Warzone map. And overall, I think it's pretty fun. But as a 6v6 game, nah, man, this game, you're just not getting your money's worth with $70. It's kind of stupid that they're, I mean, it's pretty expected from Call of Duty, if I'm being honest. And I know a lot of the changes that were in this game are going to be moved over to Warzone as well. And Warzone is free to play. So I don't know. In my opinion, I just do not think this game is worth $70 at all. Pretty much all the changes that were made from MW2 to this game should have just been updates from Infinity Ward, but you know, classic Call of Duty development, somebody higher up just did not want to change their vision of the game, and so instead we just got MW2 for an entire fucking year. Anyways, guys, just before I leave, I know I just said not to buy this game, but me and Skypad are doing a giveaway for 2 copies of MW3 on my Twitter account. So if you want to go and enter that, just go to my Twitter account, and it has my pinned tweet is how to enter that. And I will be announcing the winner of that on the 18th on my Twitch account live. So go and follow my Twitch account, twitch.tv/NateGibson, if you haven't already. Anyways, guys, let me down below. Are you actually going to be getting the game this year, or is this just going to be a hard skip for you until whatever I think Treyarch is making next year? Yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have an amazing rest of the day, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later.